Ace Rent-A-Car here at the airport in San Juan in Puerto Rico. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm actually the host of The Richter Show, and now I do reviews on hotels, on airlines, and countries themselves. So let's dive right into it. Now, I have actually reviewed a couple of Ace rent-a-cars around the United States, so I'm able to compare and tell you if there are any differences between one or the other. Now, once again, this is all based on my experience and on my opinion, and just because one Ace rent-a-car is good doesn't mean that it's going to be good everywhere, or vice versa. If it's bad in one place, it doesn't mean that it's going to be bad everywhere else. Now, before I go straight into the Ace rent-a-car itself, I do have to explain something about Puerto Rico when it comes to driving on the expressways, which is that here in Puerto Rico, I didn't know this, but there are tolls. Some states have tolls, others don't have tolls. So this also falls into the category of when it comes to renting a vehicle, if your price goes up and down. So unfortunately for me, I don't live in Puerto Rico, I didn't know that. So I actually did have to get a sort of pass to go through these tolls as well. And therefore, it boosted my rent prices. Once again, it's just the rules of how it works here in Puerto Rico, and there's really no other way to go around it, unless if you're going to avoid tolls. But if you're maybe going to stay just local in one place, let's say in this case you're going to stay just in the San Juan area, you might not need it if you're not going to drive out of the city. But if you are planning on traveling all around the actual island, then you are going to have to be paying tolls. And it's better and a little bit cheaper to actually get it straight through the actual car rental itself. Now, I have to say that my experience with Ace Rent-A-Car has been good, generally, overall. And unfortunately, this is the one time where I am disappointed. Now, I want to pedal backward a little bit and explain something that's been going on for years in every single car rental, which is that they have always tried to make more money, not of the car rental itself, but they try to sell you all these insurances and all this amount of garbage that you don't really need. In some way that some people have been able to fight back the insurance that you get on these vehicles is that, as an example, I have Progressive, and using the Progressive, I have an extension of my actual car insurance that goes into effect when I rent a car. So if I'm in the US and I have Progressive, I can rent any car I want in any state, and my insurance will actually extend to that car rental itself. So that way I don't have to be buying the car rental's insurance and spending more money. So in this case, unfortunately, if you do live in the United States, chances are that if you come to Puerto Rico and you try to rent a vehicle here, your insurance is not gonna extend to renting out in Puerto Rico. At least it happens with Ace Rent-A-Car, and it happens at least also with Progressive. So don't be surprised if you come here and you see that. One thing that I always recommend is to try to pay for as many things as you can back online and back at home, because once you get here, they always try to upcharge you. They always try to sell you more things that you don't really need. So it's best that you actually do this prior before coming here. In addition to actually trying to do this online and using your own car insurance if you have some, there are a lot of credit cards now out there that offer an extension for car rentals, and they do cover actual damages and liability issues. So that's two ways that you can save yourself money on paying for extra car rental insurance if you have the car insurance through your vehicle itself, or using the credit card of your choice. As an example, not sponsored, in this case, I use my Chase credit card because it does actually cover those expenses in the event that I actually do get into an accident. Now, this is the disappointing part that I'm having right now, which I've noticed that these car rentals in general, including Ace Rent-A-Car, is that they're quote-unquote fighting back with the whole policy that the insurance that you get that is not with them only covers certain things, and it doesn't cover like if the battery gets damaged or if the key stops working, things like that, which are kind of like common sense, but they're just trying to squeeze more money out of you because they realize that these credit card companies and your car insurance have actually beat the system, let's put it that way. So they're trying to retaliate. This is once again my opinion, but they're actually making you and forcing you to get more insurance that you don't really need, even though you are already covered. So yes, I do believe this is a scam, and you can actually go to other channels and you'll see that I'm not the only one that is exposing this. So I was actually very disappointed when I got to the Ace Rent-A-Car here in Puerto Rico in San Juan, because when I showed up, I heard so many people in front of me and also behind me when they were on the line and they were trying to check out their vehicle, getting sold insurances that they didn't need. Things that they just realized that when they got there, they were just outrageous numbers. Things that they don't really wanted, but they were forced to get it. And if sometimes either you get it or you don't get the car, or they try to use these intimidation and scare tactics, so you're forced into using their insurance. And it's something that you're not going to get your money back even if nothing happens to the vehicle. I saw so many customers just unhappy and frustrated right on the line, right at the checkout counter. And it's frustrating too because you pretty much cornered and you don't have a choice. It's either you rent so you can enjoy your vacation, or you don't rent and then you just sour the rest of your vacation. So you're forced to pay these fees even though you sometimes don't even need it. Now this is the also sad part about the insurance, okay? On this one, I don't know who exactly to blame, but I'm gonna go more towards the actual rental company, because as an example, I use booking.com to rent the vehicle through Ace Rent-A-Car, and I purchase their insurance. When you actually go and you check out, it asks you if you want to add insurance to your vehicle, in which I said, yes, let me add it so that way I have no problems when I get to the checkout counter. Boy, was I wrong. When I got to the checkout counter, as many other people, they said, oh, this insurance only covers this amount and this stuff, so you're gonna have to get another insurance with us through our company if you want full coverage on everything, because this insurance that you purchase online doesn't fully cover all the damages or issues that you might have. Then they try to separate it into this whole different lingo of one thing's like liability, another thing is actual collision. So it's an intimidation tactic. They're trained for this. I decline everything. Me personally, I just decline it if I can. Sometimes they force you to do it and they won't let you take out the vehicle. But in this case, I was just declining everything. I wasn't budging. I said no, 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 no. So you have to watch out for that, because I saw a lot of people buying this insurance, which essentially, quote unquote, ended up being useless when they actually went to go check out the vehicle. And once again, I don't know if to blame booking.com or if to blame the actual insurance company or both at the same time. But when you check out a vehicle online and it asks you for insurance, it does not give you an option of, I want this amount of insurance for this, I want this insurance for this. No, it just gives you one option and you pay it and you're confident thinking, hey, I did everything online, just to find the surprise at the end that you have to actually end up paying more. And people do fall for it, unfortunately. In this case, if the online doesn't work, don't even offer it, don't even get it, and then just go ahead and use the one that they're gonna give you at the actual rental company. Either way, now you actually got scammed twice, let's put it that way. Might as well just get scammed one time. So I was actually very disappointed with the Ace Rent-A-Car here in Puerto Rico. I mean, the scam just keeps going and going. And I have rented before on them, and I have used their services before, and depending on where I go, I have no hassle. In this one, I did have a little bit of a hassle, but he realized that I've been playing this game for a long time, so I know about the insurance and the car rental business, and I know that most of the money is not coming out through the actual car rental, but through this other amount of stuff that they actually add to the rental itself. Now with that said, at least the vehicle that I got, I went to do an economical one. I went to something relatively cheap. I'm going to show you for a second the vehicle.
So obviously I'm not going to bore you with the whole vehicle right now, so I'm just going to show you some clips of it though, showing that there's a lot of little scratches here and there, there's some dents. Make sure you take good videos of everything on the outside, point out anything that's too obvious, like over here there's some like touch-ups and paint, and then also not only the outside but do the inside. Look through every single crick and cranny if you can, open every single door, just document as much as possible, just to make sure, even the trunk and sometimes even the hood.
Once again, this vehicle was not in the best condition, and I have to go with what they gave me in order for me to give you a review on it. And this vehicle for me, it started having problems actually when I was driving. It has like a key sensor, and for some reason the key sensor was not being detected. So sometimes as I was driving, the car was about to turn off, or it would turn off, and then I would have to wait until it actually grabbed the sensor again and then turn the vehicle back on. The radio would turn off just randomly, spontaneously. I would get beeping noises. The vehicle had a lot of scratches around as well. There were some damages to the cosmetic part of it though, and that's why I always recommend and say, before you get into any vehicle, regardless of who you're renting it from, take pictures of it from the outside and the inside, and take videos of the inside of the vehicle and the outside of the vehicle as well. So that way, if they ever try to blame something on you, that you caused some sort of damage, you can go back to your evidence, back to your pictures or your videos, and you have your proof that it wasn't you that damaged the vehicle. At least I can say that when it came to returning the vehicle, it wasn't really tough. I just drove up, showed my papers, and I said, hey, here's the key, and I was gone. Make sure you get a receipt just to make sure that they don't add anything later, because they do try to mess with tourists, unfortunately, and they do try to screw you over if they can, especially if you're a tourist, because they know you're going to be long gone and there's not much you're going to be able to do except just maybe make a phone call, and they're just going to give you the runarounds. Another thing that I can say maybe positive about them is that they do have a shuttle service that goes from the airport to the rental and from the rental back to the airport. Just to be safe, it's always good to make a phone call prior to make sure if you have to actually order it, if you actually have to schedule it, or if it just runs every hour on the hour. So it always depends on where you go, what state you go to, what country you go to, and also what airport you're going to. In this case, it seems that it was going constantly, and I just have to look where the actual shuttle buses were that will take you off the airport to the other car rentals. So for this specific Ace rent-a-car, I'm going to give it a rating on the Richter scale. A 2 out of 5. That is correct, a 2 out of 5. Now, I think I've already mentioned the reasons and why I'm not giving it a full 5. I think some of the things that they're doing here are very immoral, are incorrect, and they are trying to just go for your money. And there's other ways to do it which are more honest. So I'm sorry, but I'm very disappointed with the Ace rent-a-car here in Puerto Rico, in San Juan. If you would see the amount of people that were just getting scammed one after the other, after the other, after the other, it was actually very sad to see, and it was just very, in a way, pathetic. So with that said, if you like honest and real reviews like these, don't forget to like and subscribe here only on The Richter Show. See you on the next car rental review.
Shout out to the host of the Richter. This the Richter Show. The Richter Show.